So who did she meet in Panama?
She met a guy who wanted to marry her
Oh,
in Panama.
right, I remember
But
that.
she had met
Peter, right,
in London,
Right.
and 18 years old or something at the time.
right.
She already promised him there that she was going to marry him. I guess they had sex already.
Shh, Dad.
I'm sure they did.
I know, but this is for posterity here. But go ahead.
So what? That's the truth. I'm sure.
Okay.
Peter was a very, charming guy.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, so now the interesting thing was that the ship went, so there were about maybe 10, 12 people who deposited money and got off the ship. The ship went through the Panama Canal, and all the people who couldn't afford, who did not have money, were taken off the ship at the Atlantic side, got on a train, and shipped back to where we were, and one of the Jewish organizations in America, of course, paid for them. In other words,
No.
they didn't want anybody who can afford to be there, to pay for it. They didn't want them to.
Yeah, I get that, but what I don't get is why that same organization didn't pay for the people on the St. Louis. Anyway, that's for another day. I mean, why did they let that ship go back instead of saving them?
Because that never came to Panama. That
Well,
ship went
I'm
right
just-
back to Germany.
Okay, so you're talking about a Jewish organization that was in Panama?
No, in America.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So if there's a Jew there.
Well, I don't know.
Okay,
I'm sure
another
they
story.
negotiated with Roosevelt and this and that. Roosevelt didn't budge.
Okay.
Okay, so anyhow, then we were a couple of months, 3, 4 months there. Now word came out that if you deposited some money with the Panamanian government, you could move into Panama City.
What are we in 1939 at this point?
Yeah. So my father, we got a nice apartment and I went to school in Panama City.
Right.
In an American school, where English was the main language, which of course I had already been in England, so my English was fairly good. And so then ultimately the visas came through for us to come to America. Now, America was different from Poland. I, having been born in Germany, was on a German quota. My parents and Tony, having been born in Poland, were on a Polish quota. So my visa to the United States came through 6 months before my parents. So my parents put me on a ship. The ship was on the way to New York, and it made a stop in Cuba. Now, Uncle Henry's wife, her brother, was living in Cuba. My father telephoned him and told him that when the ship makes a stop there, he should spend a little time with me. Was there for a few hours.
Yeah.
So I get off the ship and I'm looking for him, and I don't see him. And there was this little guy, maybe 12 years old, 11 years old, comes to me, "You want to have some fun with my sister?" And I got scared and I started running.
Oh my goodness.
And then I saw him and he came and I spent some time with him. And I was 14 years old at the time.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like it is today, huh?
Why, they still do that in some countries. You want to have some fun with my sister. All right, we have to take a break here.